Big Dance is a group of people who are interested in pushing dance into the theatrical realm and pushing theater into the dance realm, putting pressure on theater to incorporate abstraction and to be involved in what is invisible. That's where Big Dance lives.
So it's placing these two very disparate things to kind of like molecules bump off against each other to reveal something deeper about both sides.
Asking the question, why is this relevant right now? Source materials from older places, you know, how does this capture the contemporary moment of our experience?
There's a rigor and a thoroughness in the way that Big Dance operates. And so Annie B and Paul are incredibly rigorous in their research, in their curiosity. Every detail is treated equally.
I'm interested in performers who are not necessarily actors, but they have a strangeness to them. There's something underneath what's going on when they say something, that they're not whitewashed, they're not neutralized by their training.
As a performer, it was just like, whoa, I've never been asked to use like this much of myself. I get asked often to use like this much of myself.
Our breadth of abilities or capacities at this point may be at its widest, so we can kind of fulfill the impulses that we have, whether they be purely theatrical or purely choreographic or something in between.
The process of coming up with material is different every time, but the common technique is to use structure. So the structure can be different in each process, but pretty intense structure is always there. We have this joke where some directors will just be like, yeah, let's get in a room and let's just play. And that's just terrifying, because even though it's complete freedom, it's like, where are you gonna start? So the thing that I love about the Big Dance process is that the structure is given, so then all the fear disappears, because you know you have a task. And then you find these amazing things within that task.
There is not a preciousness about material, and it's almost like film. There's such a strong eye for editing. Like, no fat is allowed.
We'll set up choreographic ideas. The video designer will be working on ideas. The sound designer will be working on ideas. There's a sense of many, many elements attacking different ideas and seeing what expresses that in the strongest way. Sometimes all those elements will live together, and sometimes it'll be very separate. It may become a video moment, or it may become a scene with a video, or it may become a simple series of actions to a sound score. What feels the ripest, you know, which banana's the ripest, and that's the one you pick.
One of the reasons that their approach is so stitched with elements and information and stimulus and people, narrative, character, video design, sound design, a lot of different approaches to the human experience is because ultimately that is how we experience the world.
We don't necessarily put the narrative in the forefront of our work.
I don't think that life is very narrative. Mine isn't. And the narrative elements that have happened in my life, as I look back on them, become more fictionalized.
The beauty of a Big Dance piece is that it is non-linear, and you have to drop back into a different part of your brain. You don't have to understand it. Just watch it more like you would listen to music.
One thing that I feel like Big Dance really is that we're staging something, but at the same time there's a whole simultaneous score of choreography that's going on underneath it. And when we're dancing, there might be a whole simultaneous score of theater going on underneath it. We're seriously interested in simultaneous systems putting pressure on each other and seeing what happens. That's the magic point. That's what I'm really interested in.